At this point in our program, we're going to give you a little break from trombone quartets, as wonderful as they are, and present to you a dramatic narrative in the style of the old radio shows. Who is that film director? Shyamalan?
M. Night Shyamalan.
It's a story with musical accompaniment. So, prepare yourself for story time with the original Boneheads. Once upon a time, there was a town where people lived happily and contentedly. The children went to school.
No, ma'am, I don't have my homework.
The adults went to work. And minded their houses, and once a day, the train came through the town. And everyone was more or less content. Life in the town had gone along happily this way for quite a while, and no one gave it too much thought, until one day the train went by. And left a new person in the town. He spoke differently, and no one could understand him. He seemed nice enough, but his strange speech bothered some of the townsfolk, and certainly life in the town had been disrupted. Now, each day when the train came by, another new person got off, and soon there was a whole community of the strange new speakers. No one could understand them when they spoke. And it made people nervous. But the troubles in the town had only just begun. Nobody got that. Recently, some vicious birds had begun to terrorize the townsfolk. None of the usual measures were effective. The vicious birds could be neither frightened nor lured away. The leaders of the town resolved that something must be done. And so a meeting was called. The women talked it over. And then the men talked it over. The women talked it over some more. And then the men had the last word. And it was agreed. The vicious birds must be driven from the town. The men gathered to confront the birds, who conveniently for our story were just hanging around together waiting for a fight, and a ferocious battle ensued. All seemed lost when one of the strange new speakers, who had heard of the trouble with the birds, appeared on the scene. He had encountered these birds before, and his strange speech, which had so troubled the townsfolk, had an amazing calming effect on the birds. Seeing that the vicious birds had been calmed, the townsfolk were grateful to the strangers. The townsfolk learned to accept their strange speech, and everyone went back to doing what they had always done.
No, ma'am, I don't have my homework.
And once a day, the train came through, and life in the town was happy again.